I mean, goats would clear this out down to dirt. Steers, not so much. Good morning. Well, it's time to move the poly tape for the steers. And I'm going to leave the round pen where it is, but I'm going to move the poly tape and get them onto some new ground for them. And then I got to move the hens this morning too, the whole coop and everything. So that's what I'm up to this morning. The whole thing of using the round pen, which is more of an oval, is as a home base is not that common from what I've seen online. A lot of homesteaders or farmers, they just, there's a fence, they're out. That's how it is. I was using this because I still hadn't completed my perimeter fence in the back corner. And I just didn't want to risk them going out there and disappearing, right? So that's why I had it up. And now it's just kind of become the thing. They know to come here every evening. About the same time each night, they just wander in. And it's probably because they get little treats in there. But it's where their water is. It's where the mineral block or the salt block is. I haven't seen it with too many other folks, but I don't know, it's working for us. We may wean away from it eventually, but for now, it's good. I like knowing where they're going to be at night, or at least in the morning when I come back out. I did it again. Look at that. Got to plug in. Boom. There's the thing right there. Got to get that on the fence. Can't believe I did that again. Oh, idiot. All right, that's better. That was, that's not one we want to repeat. Can't find it, grind it. I'm gonna get the girls moved from here. They pretty much tore everything up here. Spread out all the meadow muffins, which is good because this is where the steers were, like their home base in the brown pen. And that's all cleared up. It was helped by some heavy rains though, which also helped disperse that. So I'm gonna move them from there. I'm gonna bring them down here a little bit and then reset their pen. One thing I gotta do beforehand though is I gotta take out that low limb because that's gonna hit my roof as I come through. So I need to clear that out. By the way, every year your chickens will molt and they will get very, well, mangy looking. Feathers fall out and other feathers come in. It's just what happens. Good morning. Getting some poly tape fencing moved around to make a new pen for the steers. Last couple days they've been in this area and the area on the other side of the fence there. They're still in their pen this morning. And I cut it diagonally across this portion, and I'm gonna give them all of this and see what of this they would actually eat. I know they're not goats, so goats would clear this out down to dirt. Steers, not so much, but we'll get them out there and see how much they will eat. And not sure how long it's going to take them to come to that conclusion for themselves. May not be that long, but we'll see. Let's let these guys out and get started with their day. You're not feeling it? Okay. Yep, they very clearly prefer grass to leaves and other vines and that kind of stuff. So they'll probably be out here for 2 days, and then I'll move them across the driveway and get them back out here onto the grass. It's up to about 10 inches long now, which is about when you want to put the steers back on there. So you girls are getting all your cinnamon colored plumage coming in. Look at you. She's out again. Oh yeah, you're busted. You're busted. I bet you're not alone either. You got a partner in crime, huh? Yes, yes you do. I want to share this. Just hold your horses. This spot right here, out here in the woods that are being cleared, I had an old bag of feed there that had gone past, and it was starting to get a little moldy and whatever. And I'm like, I'm not feeding that to the chickens. It was broiler feed, and I was done with broilers. I bought too much. I gave some away to another guy, but he didn't need that much either. So I probably had, gosh, I'll bet 100 pounds still left. And so I just set it out here and left it open thinking, you know, crows and whatever would get in here and eat it. And there's been a lot of activity, and you can see it's all churned up around here. And I thought they were eating the feed. But today, well, about a week ago when I moved the steers out into these woods, I dragged that bag out. Funky smelling stuff. Oh, so nasty. I dragged it out so that I could dispose of it properly. And I set it here. Well, look at this ground. Look at all the activity that's been going on here. I was like, what is going on? This is what's been going on. Larvae. That's what the crows have been eating. So they weren't interested in the feed. Flies came in as this started to turn and get stinky and mushed up and bad and got wet and just gross. Well, flies get in there just like manure, and they're laying eggs. And that pupates and you get all the stuff. And there's larvae, and there's other bugs and worms and ants and all kinds of stuff in it. And the crows have been in here just scratching all around it and just having a feast. And I thought to myself, as I'm throwing it away, I'm wasting this. This would have been a great opportunity to experiment with that thing where you put a bunch in a 5-gallon bucket, cut holes, drill holes in the top of the 5-gallon bucket, so that as the larvae get going and they crawl out, they fall off the bucket, and then the chickens eat for free. And that cycle just repeats because the flies will keep going in the holes to lay eggs and do their thing. Missed opportunity. Free food. Another time. Just closed up the nest boxes. Everybody's getting ready for bed there. A couple more eggs. Found out what was letting them out is there's just a couple of spots where the ground gets low and they dig. You know, I'd say it was innocent digging and scratching, but I think they're little escape artists. And so they were getting out. I set this up a little bit in the dark this morning because it's just an early morning. It's Sunday, so, you know, we were getting out to go to church early. So, and it's not usual that I move these guys on a Sunday, but it just worked out that way this week because their old spot was just so used up. And in here is pretty used up from only one day of them being out here. And so what I'm going to do is in the morning, I'm going to move the steers out onto the actual pasture proper with the grass. And then I will move the hens and all of their stuff forward to where the steers have been and let them work on that a little bit and spread that manure out. Hopefully that'll work well. Well, the steers are back on just regular grass. They seem pretty pleased about it. Snouts down, doing their thing. My first time moving them like through a corridor like this. So crossing the driveway back over to where they were, and I spent some time this morning building it up so that they leave their pen and then immediately make a left turn and walk around. It took them a little bit to figure it out. So basically what I'll do now is I'll take this reel, I'll go over, I'll close that door, right, so that they can't come back through. And then I'll take the pen apart, move it into position at the far end so it'll be available for a couple of days worth of moves. And then just finish taking this down and setting up the water and the power for the Energizer and all that. All right, there they are. I got the corral moved over there. Water tank is filling. I've got their area cleaned up over here. It just took me too long, so I didn't bother trying to move the hens over. So I let them out where they were. I did go around and tamp down all the bottoms of the fence where the hens were digging under. Laid some sticks and whatever. I don't think it'll stop them, but maybe it'll slow them down a little bit. Finally back out here on the fence line. I'm going to be unrolling this spool, this roll of wire from down there up to here, and then tacking it onto this post right here. And let's see how long that's going to take me. Well, started down there. Got that far. That's how far I got. And this is how far I need to go. Thought I could make it, but I'm probably 20 feet short. 20 feet. I'm gonna have to go get a new roll and only use 20 feet of it. 20 of 330 feet. All right, I go do that. These guys know how to enjoy their afternoon. That's how I know they're doing okay. They like to lay down in the afternoon and just chew their cud. There it is. Stretched, clipped up, tacked on. And this is what remains of the piece of fencing that I used. I just cut it free from the big spool when I did it because it was just easier to work with. And so I got to take my jig off there, got the chains coming back to the winch pulley. And then I had it wrapped around both of these trees. And you can get a sense of how hard this gets pulled. It just really, I really put some tension on that thing. I'll get all this cleaned up, and then last thing I need to do is get the gate on. You girls don't think I know that you're doing it when I'm not around, but I see you getting up on that center wall to perch. I do. I see you in there doing it. So I've run into a thing where little logistics snafu in putting on the gate. Look at those hands. Ugh. I don't have a set of the hinge pins to mount the gate on. I have the ones that come with it, but I told you before I don't really like those. So I need to go buy a couple of those and then I can put on the gate. So I'm still almost done putting up the perimeter. Really close though. That'll have to come next time. It's been a few good days. The girls, the little hens, they're growing. I mean, they're flapping their way up onto that little wall and perching up there. They may be ready to head outside. So what I'll have to do is probably get one of the chicken tractors ready for them to use as I just move them around as if they're broilers. So that's something I'll be needing to think about and work on in the somewhat near future. Not an emergency. The little hens, the pullets, they don't seem to mind where they are right now, but they'll start getting restless and trying to fly out while I'm servicing the coop. And when that starts happening, they got to come out of there. The other thing is the steers are back out here on grass at the front pasture of the property. It's been 6 weeks since they've been here. Fortunately, we've had some rain. The grass is growing pretty aggressively as it does down here, but that's a fast turn. I sort of thought it would take longer. Actually, I don't really know what I thought. I mean, I'm kind of making it up as I go, but 6 weeks. So they'll get actually probably 2 days on this because they've been working on it pretty good, but there's still quite a bit of forage left for them. So they'll get at least another day there, and then I'll start working them around the rest, get them all the way into the southeast corner, and just keep that cycle going. The issue is going to become when I start getting into winter, and what happens down here is the grass just turns a golden color or it looks like it's dead. And if it's not growing, there's nothing new coming for forage. So I'll need to find an area that I can put the steers, and then it'll be hay. And so I got to make sure I have enough of that, and just pick an area that I can sort of sacrifice. What I'll probably do is set them like out over here where that area was so a whole bunch of stuff that they weren't going to eat, but they can tromp it down. I can move hay around and they can stomp that all down for me. That'd be just fine with me. So that'll be something else I need to start thinking about and planning for as we approach winter. And then the other thing I got to start thinking about is broilers. Got a time to start thinking about getting those ordered and getting some in. Am I going to do them just for us? Am I going to try and sell some? I don't know. It's not a process that I mind, except for the actual harvest day. Those are long days, and it's at least half a day, a little bit longer, with cleanup to do just 30 hens. 30 broilers. So that's something I got to be thinking of as well. So lots on my mind, lots of things to work through. But as far as I'm concerned, these are good problems to have, you know. So I'll just keep thinking about it, keep taking steps in the right direction. And with the fence being just about complete, once that's done, I can start putting a little more effort towards some of these other things, and that's my plan. So I think that's about going to do it from here. Talk to you guys later.